Almost every year during the monsoon, Mumbai has to face flood-like situation. Mumbai has to face excess water during the monsoon. We will discuss this issue in this editorial. Water as woe. Woe means a trouble. Woe means a big trouble or a difficulty. So you can say that water has become difficulty for Mumbai. Mumbai cannot manage its flooding without. Flooding means excess of water, inundation, deluge. Mumbai cannot manage its flooding without a new deal. We need a new deal means we need a new way for drainage. Drainage means you can say that exit system of water and housing, proper housing. So editorial says that if Mumbai has to deal with flooding, if Mumbai has to deal the floods every year, so Mumbai can deal the situation with proper drainage system and proper housing system. The revival of the monsoon has overwhelmed. If we revive something means we give power to that thing. Revival means something that something that gets strength. It is called revival. Of the monsoon has overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means to take the control of something completely. Overwhelmed means to occupy something completely. So now the monsoon has revived and its revival has occupied Mumbai and its suburb. Suburb means outskirts. Suburb means you can say that the outer part of a city. Once again, paralyzing life, disrupting drinking water supplies. Disrupting means to create hindrance, to you can say that to create obstacles. Paralyzing life, disrupting drinking water supplies. So at present the monsoon has disturbed the life completely in Mumbai, and it has disrupted or it has created hindrance in drinking water supplies, and expose means to reveal the parlous means dangerous state of its infrastructure, and this monsoon has exposed that the infrastructure of Mumbai is in a very dangerous state. It is clear that the volume means quantity and duration of monsoonal rain are turning unpredictable. Unpredictable means that we cannot say for sure. Unpredictable means you can say that uncertain. So editorial said that day by day the monsoonal rain is becoming unpredictable and we cannot predict. And intermittent torrents, torrent means heavy rain, and intermittent means something that gets stopped for some time and then starts again, then again it stops, then again starts. It is called intermittent. Intermittent means with, or you can say that happening at irregular intervals. It is called intermittent torrents. With crippling means something that makes you weak. Crippling means something that paralyzes you, something that makes you weak. Impact means effect on cities will become more frequent. Editorial says that influenced by a warming climate. The climate is warming day by day, and due to this influence in the coming future we will experience that more cities will experience the crippling impacts of the monsoonal rain. Strengthening that theory, three weather. Strengthen means to make something strong. Strengthening that theory. What is the theory? The theory is that the climate is getting warmer day by day, and this will you can say that this will affect the monsoonal rain. Three weather stations in Mumbai recorded a staggering means shocking, level of rainfall in 1 week from July 13. If we count from July 13, then 1 week from July 13, Mumbai recorded, you can say that, shocking level of rainfall. Ranging from, range means you can say that the scope, ranging from 628 mm in Mahalakshmi to 958.5 mm in Santa Cruz. So what was the level of rain in Mahalakshmi? It was 628 mm in 1 week, and at Mahalakshmi it was 958.5 mm in 1 week. Mahalakshmi in July, ranging from 628 mm in Mahalakshmi to 958 mm in Santa Cruz. Okay, the letter, there are two words, one is former and one is latter. If we are using two, you can say that if we are using two objects, like here we are discussing Mahalakshmi and Santa Cruz, so the object which comes before, it is called former, and the object, or you can say that the matter you are discussing, that comes after, it is called latter. So here the latter experience means the Santa Cruz experiencing a peak. Peak means the highest level of 234.9 mm on July 18. It is the data of single day. On July 18, Santa Cruz experienced the highest 234.9 mm rainfall. The inundation means flood, extreme water. The inundation has taken a toll means you can say that death of at least 32 lives. So this flood has taken the lives of 32 people, and the majority of victims died in landslide. Landslide means you can say that when a rock slides, it is called landslide. Victims who have been affected by this monsoon, they have been called victim. So the majority of victim died in landslides that crushed, means that destroyed, that landslide destroyed their slum houses. You know, slum area, you can say that in urban areas, overcrowded area, where people are living in juggi, it is called slum area. So the people who were living in slum houses at Mahul in Chembur, they got crushed during the landslide. These deaths of despair recur means when something repeats again and again, it is called recur. And despair means hopelessness, almost every year. Editorial says that these deaths happen almost every year. Soon to be forgotten, and after these deaths happen, we soon forget about these deaths. Soon to be forgotten. In fair weather, in a city, in fair weather, when you can say that the situation is normal, we forget about these type of things. In a city, here we are talking about Mumbai, in a city that pride itself, Mumbai prouds itself on its enterprise, on its business and resilience. Resilience means if you have power, like someone has defeated you, but you gather power and you oppose that person, it is called your resilience. Resilience means to oppose something strongly. So editorial says that Mumbai prouds itself on its business and its resilience capacity. In the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic means a widespread disease. So you can say that we are experiencing the second year of COVID-19. The monsoon malady means a serious problem. Pause means to present a dangerous situation, poses a double jeopardy. Jeopardy means danger. So now we are experiencing double danger. We are experiencing coronavirus as well as we are getting affected by the monsoon, adding to the economic misery. And what are the results we are getting due to the pandemic and due to the monsoon? Adding to the economic misery. Misery means your sorrow, your sufferings of the vulnerable. Vulnerable means very weak person, है ना, that is susceptible to be attacked. Someone who can be easily attacked, he is called vulnerable. Vulnerable means very weak. So editorial says that due to the, you can say that due to the unpredictable monsoon as well as due to COVID-19 pandemic, the most vulnerable people, है ना, who live in hovel means jhuggi, in suburban landslide prone. Suburban means you can say that outskirts means the area nearby main city, it is called suburban. Landslide prone, where landslide prone location means the locations where landslides happen frequently. So editorial says that the people who are living in an area which is prone to landslide, है ना, and they are living in hovels, they are living in jhuggis, है ना, they are very vulnerable people, they are very weak people, and the coronavirus as well as the monsoon is adding economic misery to their problems. Such dire conditions, है ना, dire means serious, such dire conditions stand in contrast. If something is in contrast means you can say that when you compare two opposite things, you use the word contrast. When you compare two opposite things, we use contrast. Such dire conditions stand in contrast to Maharashtra's keen. Keen means if you are very enthusiastic about something, you say that you are very keen about that thing. Desire means you can say that your aim. Desire to keep Mumbai as the country's preeminent means superior, the greatest financial metropolis. So editorial says that the one aspect is that Maharashtra is enthusiastic about keeping Mumbai as the country's greatest financial metropolis. And we see, and what is the contrast? Contrast is that Mumbai is facing so many serious conditions. So editorial says that at one side you are facing a lot of problems, and at another side you want to become the greatest city. So you can say that these two situations are in contrast. The limitations in its infrastructure to accommodate. If you accommodate means to adjust someone, to provide space for someone. The limitations in its infrastructure to accommodate intense means you can say that intense means if something is very extreme, intense monsoon. Editorial says that the infrastructure of Mumbai is not as strong as can defy the bad effects of monsoon. So you can say that the infrastructure of Mumbai cannot accommodate the adverse effects of monsoon. And it's notorious means very bad, inability to provide affordable inner city housing. If you can say that if you are famous for something, where you use the word famous for in a positive way, but you use the word notorious in a negative way. You are famous but in a negative way, then you use the word notorious. Notorious inability to provide affordable means that can be afforded. If you can pay money for something, it means you can afford that thing. Inner city housing to the less affluent means prosperous, the rich one, and even the middle class. So editorial says that it is a well known fact that Mumbai cannot provide housing facilities to the poor people as well as the middle class people. So these are the factors are making other cities look more attractive. So editorial says that these are the factors that it is not possible for a common man, for a middle class man, for a poor person to live in Mumbai. That's why other cities are getting more attractive. The catastrophic floods in Mumbai and Chennai. Catastrophic means disastrous, है ना? Disastrous. The catastrophic floods in Mumbai and Chennai in 2005 and 2015. So Mumbai experienced the dangerous flood in 2005 and Chennai experienced the dangerous flood in 2015 respectively, resulted in the emergence of. Emergence means to come out, resulted in. So what was the result of these two serious floods? That we made a management plan drop means to make something, by the National Disaster Management Authority. So National Disaster Management Authority made a plan to manage the flood like situation, and later after that the first dedicated storm water drainage, drainage means the water exit system. The first dedicated storm water drainage manual means guidelines by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So first time, so you can say that the first time the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs issued guidelines for water drainage. But such initiative means when you initiate something means you start something and you begin something, but such initiatives can do little. Here it is written little. If it would be it were a little means something positive, little means in a negative sense. Editorial says that such initiatives, such type of good works can do little, can do nothing if states which have both power and responsibility over city affairs. So city affairs are managed by states. States have power and it is the responsibility of states to control the affairs of city. But if states do not feel compelled means, you can say that feel compelled means to feel, to experience, to feel responsible about something. Feel compelled to address means to solve the challenges. Pause means to present a difficult problem by urbanization. So editorial says that if states do not feel compelled, if states do not feel that it is their responsibility to solve the challenges which has been created by the urbanization. In fact, Mumbai's inability to manage recurrent means something that is happening again and again, floods and the needs of massive means, you can say that very powerful, massive slum population. Slum population means the population who is living in overcrowded condition. The population who is living in urban overcrowded condition and living in jhuggies was highlighted. So Mumbai's inability was highlighted. Mumbai's inability was highlighted. So Mumbai is unable in handling recurrent floods, and there is a need of there is a need to handle massive slum population. So this inability was highlighted by a fact-finding committee appointed by the Maharashtra government after the 2005 deluge. Deluge means flood. So after the 2005 flood, a committee was established by the Maharashtra government to give some recommendations with calls to liberate. Liberate means to make something free or to make someone free. To liberate the city's rivers and legs from various impediment. Impediment means obstacles, hindrances. So this committee recommended that cities, rivers and lakes should be liberated from various impediments. Enable perennial flow in the Meethi river. Perennial means something that lasts for a long time. Perennial means continuing, without any, you can say that, without any impediments, without any impediment, continuing. So enable perennial flow in the Meethi river. So Meethi river should be allowed to flow all year. Create fresh holding lakes for excess water. For excess water, we need to create some artificial lakes and rehabilitate those who live. Rehabilitate means you can say that to make new arrangements for them, or you can say that to revive their or to repair their existing conditions, and it is called rehabilitate. Rehabilitate means to give a new shape. Rehabilitate means to give a new shape to your existing situations, and rehabilitate those who live in risky locations, those who live in dangerous locations. So their locations should be rehabilitated. Their, you can say that, risky locations should be given proper attention. There is a need to clear the air. When you clear the air, it means you remove doubts, you tell the truth on the follow-up. Follow-up means what steps have you taken, to these and other expert recommendations. Okay, Maharashtra set up some committees. So whether the recommendations of these committees were followed, it should be clear. There is a need to clear the air. It should be clear, truth be told, which the state can do through a white paper. When you do something through a white paper, it means you present a report before readers to give explanations regarding a complex issue. Mumbai's neglect is not unique. Mumbai's neglect is not unique. So frequently we have been neglecting Mumbai. It is not a new case, though, however, and most big cities are amorphously expanding. Amorphously means if something is amorphous, it means it is formless. It is without any form. Expanding means you can say that their area is getting wider day by day to the suburb. Suburb means you can say that outer area where basic infrastructure including drainage means water exit system is absent. Editorial says that at present in India many big cities are expanding without any form, and the problem is that without any basic infrastructure, and you can say that at least no drainage system is available in these expanding cities, and lakes, and no lake is available, and rivers are heavily and lakes and rivers are heavily encroached. Encroach means to take something in your control illegally. To take something in your control illegally, it is called encroachment. So during the summer season or during the winter season, when there is no water in lakes and rivers, so many people, often with political support, encroach the area of rivers and lakes. It is also a big problem. So finally editorial says, such unplanned growth, okay, we should try for maximum growth, but that growth should be with planning. If we adopt such unplanned growth with no defense means safeguards against weather disasters, against weather disaster. So if we do not take proper steps against the weather disasters, is leaving cities a lot poorer. So our unplanned growth is leaving cities a lot poorer. Our cities are getting poorer. Here we are talking about our city's infrastructure. Our city's infrastructure is getting poorer day by day due to unplanned growth.